One. We are live with Domonhic Jennings, ladies and gentlemen. This is my stepbrother. My brother. Blood couldn't make us closer.
What's going on?
What's
That's
going
love.
on? How you doing? You look good. You look great. All
You
right.
look better.
Mm, that's a lie. Anyways, so Nick, this is the first official episode that I'm gonna upload. I've done a couple, like I said before, but haven't uploaded any. I think I'm gonna do this one. Um, So I didn't get a chance to write down any questions, so we're just gonna go off the cuff for about like what time is it now? I don't want to take up all your time. I know you playing Madden tonight. You ain't gotta look so serious, but all right. So Dominic, Nick, Dom, as the people like to call you, big sexy, actor in the
Yeah.
making, pro in the making. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you
Uh,
at? What are you doing? What are your goals? Your focus right now?
well, my name is Dominic Jennings, as you see on the screen. Where I'm at is Long Island University. It's a school, of course, self-explanatory, Long Island, New York. I came here to play ball, and obviously get my degree, and hopefully get a shot to play in the NFL one day. Um, and that's my biggest goal, and use NFL and you use the platform to get into some acting. I really want to get into acting, behind the scenes in movies and stuff like that. I've just recently picked up music. I wouldn't call myself a rapper. I would call myself just an artist that makes catchy vibes. For people to uh, just give people a good sound to listen to. So
So
that's what I'm headed
have
towards
you
right now.
uploaded anything on SoundCloud? Like you giving the people something? What do you mean? You give them to them in your room? You just share them to your friends over the internet,
Yeah,
or you to the masses?
I share them to my friends behind the
Okay,
scenes, riding in the car, on the football field, or just joking around in their rooms, just always playing my music. And they seem to love it, and they tell me to post. I don't know. I'm keeping it low key right now. I'm trying to just really focus on football for right now. It's cool.
okay, okay. So, um, so you are a rising sophomore, right? Reclass,
Um,
rising sophomore. I
yeah,
should know
with
this.
COVID, I'll actually be,
Oh, so you
which is
have the
crazy.
option. That's right, to stay back
With
another
COVID,
year.
yep, I'll actually be a redshirt freshman, but I'll be a junior in the classroom. So it's an
Okay,
advantage. Uh, yeah.
okay. So, are you gonna exercise that option and like repeat your freshman year, or do you think you know how you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
Uh, I think for where I'm at, I think I want to repeat that freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going in highly mature, super motivated, a lot wiser on the field, knowing what I'm supposed to do now in every aspect of the game, and I'm just ready to use that advantage of my age and my physical attributes to go out there and honestly dominate. And that's I keep saying dominate because I know playing in this division, that's what you got to do to get to the next level. So there is no other way around it. So
Okay, so how are you feeling about the aspects then of the upcoming season as a freshman? Being in the position, you got a year in the system. You learn, got a little bit of ins and outs. You'll have a full season, which is very important. You have a full season, full off season. Get to learn the playbook a little bit more. Got a little bit more feel for the league. How you feeling about
right.
that upcoming
Feel-
season?
Feeling good. Like I said, I feel a lot wiser. I know my stuff. I know
Mm-hmm.
feeling good with the playbook. Going into my second year with the same offensive coordinators and the same people.
Mm-hmm.
It's only gonna make it even more comfortable for me, and like I said, it's an advantage for me personally because with everybody else coming in, and I'll know more. So I just have to be able to use what I know and elevate
Okay.
my talents and my crafts going into this summer.
Okay. So is there a lot of depth at that position for y'all at Long Island, or um, are you competing with a committee of running backs, or you think that's about like one or two? that you have to?
Just like any other team in the nation, there is what 6 to 8 running backs. There's 2 guys coming in, so they're making 8. Competing wise, it's kind of the coaches just go about usually who they like and who seems like they're more comfortable with the playbook. I wouldn't say um, actual like competing is just who they feel they can trust on game day.
Okay,
So I just want to make sure I'm one of those guys they feel they can trust on game day, and if that means I got to know the playbook inside and out, then I will get it figured out.
absolutely. That's number one. Okay, so as far as making it to the league, you have that is no messing that up there. Um, that is something that I know personally that you believe will come to pass one day. So, um, give us some insight on as far as you know, um, what that looks like for you, like because you can prepare for it in your mind all day. So what is that work that you're putting in that you'll ultimately be doing? Because like they say, the routine. So if somebody wants to become a millionaire, like you start living like one before you're a millionaire. Like you understand what that lifestyle will require, and you live that out every day when you don't have it, because otherwise you'll get it. And just like a lot of other athletes, when they get to that point in the league, they don't know how to handle it. They piss off their money. They have it while
Right.
they're there, but as soon as it's gone, they're working at Kroger's. So, what aside of money, lifestyle though, lifestyle choices, work ethic, all of that. Like again, like what does the next 4 years look like in order for you to be in that position?
Well, for me personally, I have to do more on and off the field than everybody else, and I know that because I didn't just wake up and just have this amazing just talent of with speed or even strength or even pretty much anything. I got to work for everything, uh, and working when it comes to working. Like I said, I have to do the extra, at all times. It's not just about doing what everybody else is doing. I feel like if I'm doing the same amount of reps and the same amount of weight that everybody else is doing, then I'm not getting any better. I'm just doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. So I have to do um, 2 more. I always say 2 more to everything. 2 more runs, 2 more lifts, 2 more anything. I think that's what it's going to take for me to surpass everybody else at this level or any level. Even if God bless me to play in the league one day, I truly think that I have the mentality to get there, and I know that I have to keep my body right. I know I'm older. I know I'm 22. I know I'm an older guy, and in a position where it's tough. It's almost like a diamond in the rough. So um, I have to, like I said, just do the extra with everything in life. And as crazy as it sounds, just start off with days like waking up in the morning and making your bed. I know lately I haven't been the best at that, um, and I use that analogy because um, you know simple things like waking up in the morning and making your bed can really just set your day off to whatever it needs to go to. And for me, um, I really try to discipline myself on that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nah, that's a fact. That's like, um, I mean, a lot of really smart people and successful people say that. Like, it's the little routines and the little stuff that you do on a day to day basis that compound. You know, every little action makes a difference. So making it makes sense for people
right.
whose brains are wired that way. But you make a good point about being 22, and so you're repeating your freshman year. So you'll be about 26 when you graduate. So you got to be kind of very calculated about how you go about everything. And to your point of the mentality and that resiliency that you've built up over the years, can you share about how you've built that? like your journey up until this point at Long Island, like because I know your story and that I was talking to Delonte. I was talking to Delonte about how athletes like just from being a very competitive athlete and holding yourself to that standard and how it translates into the real world and the things that we go through as athletes that you know to get what we want from the game. Like we will go above and beyond for a game, but it's just like competitive nature and everything that comes with it. So like the resiliency, determination. You gotta like, in your case especially, it is faith, but combined like the work ethic, faith, and then, you know, just faith going, and you don't necessarily have control of every of the outcome, but you are willing to put in that work because it's something you believe in. So that will absolutely, regardless of like what happens, translate, I believe, um, in your life beyond football, and you'll be successful regardless. Like I believe that because like there's a lot of lessons that have been learned just from, again, like, and once you share like everything that you've done up until this point. So yeah, just like share with us like how you've built that callus and why you're so confident in your ability and what you can do and like what you see that most people absolutely cannot given the circumstances with age, school, all that. Like share that.
Right. So for me, personally, obviously, as you know my uncle Rashad Jennings. Um, I spent a lot of time with him in the off season, and I spent a lot of time with him a lot of my time my freshman year going into high school, eighth grade year going to my freshman year in high school. I spent a lot of time with him. I went down to train with him in Miami. I got to train with him. I got to meet good guys like Le'Veon Bell, Lawrence Timmons, with Josh Freeman, Ladarius Webb, and a couple other running backs. As I was down there. And he even crossed paths with Frank Gore. Didn't really get to speak to him. I didn't really realize who it was until he had walked past me. And my uncle was like, "Do you know who that was?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize." But at that time, I realized that I had the discipline. I realized that I had the same determination those guys had. And those guys were either on their way into the league or those guys were on their way in. I mean, those guys were already in the league and established. I realized that it was going to take for me to wake up extremely early. It was going to take for me to work out 2-3 times a day with no complaints because there's no secret to hard work. Hard work comes with everything: how you sleep, how you eat, how you stretch, how you work out. Just how you get into your Bible. I mean, everything. I realized in that moment, my freshman year, that like I said, that I can potentially be that type of guy one day. Obviously, I wasn't as strong or as fast, but going through some of the drills, I was able to do some of the things they would do at a very young age, and I always kept that mindset that I can be this, and I always keep this mindset of why not me? Why can't Domonhic Jennings be a big household name? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Why not me? I know a lot of kids think that, and a lot of kids, like I said, like they think that and they try to go about it, but I don't believe a lot of kids are really dedicating their life to that. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
dedicated my life to the game. I
Facts.
mean, it ain't too many 22-year-old freshmen that I know that
Facts.
would just keep going, and
Yep.
I keep going because I know I got something in me that's that where that I always say different determination. I used to say that as a joke, but now like when I say it, it's a deeper meaning behind it. It's a different determination for me to make it in life, and
Mm-hmm.
not just football, but make it as a great father, make it as a great husband. And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to say what everybody else say, but I really, I just want to be a good man. And when I say make it, like I said, if I got to make it in music, if I got to make it in ball, if I got to make it in acting, I know I got the potential. I know I got, the everything in my arsenal to do it.
Yep.
I just have to do it. But like I said, I got a little bit off topic, but for me, I just feel like that I can do everything those guys can do. I just need an opportunity, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I finally got my opportunity here at Long Island University. Um, it's crazy because I played quarterback my entire life, and then going and played at 3 different high schools. You know, my pops was a head football coach. We've been all around the world, from Lynchburg, Virginia, to Youngstown, Ohio. For me, from
Up and
school
down the East
switches.
Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me going into my senior year, switching. You know, not because I was bad or anything. I'm not trying to throw nobody on the bus, but just a lot of
That was a life
a
that
lot of
came with it. I
yeah,
mean,
that was a life
period.
that came with my
Yep.
senior year, and I got switched positions to play running back, and it was tough, but I accepted the challenge, and um, I accepted the challenge, and you know, this is where I'm now. I took a I went to Fork Union Military Academy after high school. Still didn't get any offers that I really like, per se. Didn't get a full ride. I had a few little offers, but nothing a full ride. So I took a preferred walk on to Liberty University, where my father played, and of course my uncle plays and hold
Yep.
record at. I end up going there, and I was actually I ended up getting scout team MVP. As of course as a freshman, you know, most freshmen don't play. We have to earn our way through scout, and going into spring ball. Um, I just realized a few things that I wasn't going to probably play for another year per se. I think, and I realized that like I can play now, and like I don't believe I have to wait. I don't think I should have to wait, you know, to earn a scholarship. You know, I definitely worked my tail off, and um, truly, I thought I deserved it. A lot of people, and were in my ear about you deserve it. I just really got tired of hearing that, and I feel like I couldn't fulfill and be Domonhic Jennings at Liberty University. I was always in the shadows of somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
But
not
you had
always
to
a
know that
bad.
going there, though. Not to cut you off.
Yeah,
You had to know
I,
that.
I,
That's
it
something as a legacy, essentially. Well, I mean, that's what you are. Your dad, your uncle went there. Um, obviously,
right.
Rashad, super successful while he was there, and then goes on to the league. So that's something you go there knowing. Now, to your point, I want to make 2 points before you continue. So about like, because again, I think regardless of your outcome and where you end up in life, and why athletes, I feel like, are the toughest people, you know, because or mentally, you see things differently. And so like going back to high school, like I know you trained all the time for quarterback. That's what Nick
Oh,
was, Dominic. I'm quarterback. Period. Don't talk to me about nothing else. I'm quarterback, and that like quarterback, and you good at quarterback. Very good. A very good quarterback. You got a cannon. However, switching from that your senior year in high school, you played quarterback your entire life. That's all you've trained for. So switching from that to running back your senior year and looking for college prospects for that position. Like, so, which makes sense why, well, that's why Fork Union made sense, right? Because it was kind of late to show recruiters what you can do at that position. Like, you got the size, but a lot of dudes got size and they butt. So, you had to prove that on film. I mean, it's the truth. So, that like mentally, what did that do for you? Your senior year in high school, having to adjust. Was it just the desire to be great at the game, and you didn't care how you got it? You wanted to just get there, being collegiate football. You didn't. It didn't matter what it looked like to you at that point, or like how did that mentally, and how did you overcome it and accept it, and just be like, all right, it's Dom the running back now, no more quarterback. Like, how did that go?
mentally, mentally, that was a roller coaster of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially being a new kid, like I said, again, another school, having to change position, having to learn a different type of training. Because at quarterback, it's a lot of drop back and passing the ball, more kind of lackadaisical type training. With running back, it's a lot of extra running, running the extra miles,
Yeah.
literally extra miles,
Yeah.
running the different type of drills, different type of weights, a lot of squatting. I didn't have any legs playing quarterback. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But transition to running back and, like I said, doing a lot of squatting. But I think mentally, the biggest thing that helped me out was, of course, was my God. I did a lot of praying, a lot of crying, and a lot of praying. I'm a big baby when it comes to that a little bit. And honestly, my parents. My parents were just there for me
Big
every
ups to Hope
free.
and Al. Big ups.
Hmm?
But yeah, no, I said big ups to Hope and Al.
Yeah,
Big ups.
a lot of some of my parents, man, just every day, even when I was just, I was down, or even though I was happy, they just brought me in and just talked to me about life, and they really set me up for life, I believe. And I owe it all to them. I owe it all to God. I owe it all to myself. But I really owe it all to them to really help them out, in the near future. And that's really, my biggest motivation. I mean, my lock screen on my phone is my parents. I wake up every day and I look at the lock screen and I just think to myself how much time, love, money, um, you know, they spent, and I don't think they wasted anything. They spent on me personally to complete my dreams, and I just really that's really what kept me in it. That's really the reason I was able to go and play running back with uh, with a good head on my shoulders and wasn't super angry. Um, Angry at the situation, but I was, like I said, I was, and my parents were able to help me out with that. And still to this day, I talk to them as much as I can, on life in general, to help me continue
Mm-hmm.
and
So,
capture these black.
real quick, how did that come about? Like, cause, I mean, I didn't catch too many Boardman games. However, I would have liked to seen the quarterback that, like,
Yeah.
you had to make this massive transition for. So, how does that even come about? Just like, you ain't got to talk too long about it, but just how did that even happen? Like, and I mean, yeah, I know
How did
Boardman's a big school, big division,
right?
um, good competition. So, I mean, that speaks for itself somewhat in film. But yeah, how did that come about? With just giving up your position at quarterback and saying, "All right, I'm gonna do this running back thing." Like, as far as the team.
Well, I had to. At the end of the day, I'm an athlete. I had to start believing that I was an athlete. I
Right.
got so stuck in my mind that I was a quarterback, but
Was it because
eventually,
of were you also more willing to accept because like recruiters were asking, "Hey, are you willing to play this? Or are you willing to, you know, like are you flexible? Like are you an athlete?" Pretty much like you said. So, did that kind of help with or
a little. Actually, a lot of the recruiters wanted to see me playing quarterback at that
okay.
level, and that was with a lot of big time recruiters wanted to see me playing QB at that level and seeing if I can
Mhm.
translate from the lower division to the upper division and be, the same guy.
Right.
And so that's why going to play running back was like, oh man, like am I, and this is gonna mess me up in recruitment now? Am I not gonna be the same guy anymore? But also going to play running back though showed that I was an athlete. I played a little DB too. I actually started the first 3 games my senior year at defensive back, which is crazy because I was out there looking like a linebacker, just pushing people that had no idea what I was doing. But that's really how it came about. And of course, I'm not going to argue with a coach if he thinks that this is the best for me, and I didn't really speak up at that time, too. So if he thought me playing running back was the best for the team, I just went ahead and made the switch
Mhm.
and had some semi success with it. So, and I realized I had a quick realize that there are 32 quarterbacks, NFL starting quarterbacks, and now in this game you switch out 2, 3 running backs per game on 32 teams. So, you do the math to that.
Yeah.
Um,
Facts.
I had a
Facts.
shot at playing running back in the National Football League one day than I
Better
do playing
chances.
quarterback.
Right.
That's what really kept me in it. Like,
Okay.
okay, I just have to train harder
That
and
makes
different.
sense.
So yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, you get through Fork Union, go to Liberty. Liberty didn't really work out. All right. So, to play devil's advocate, because, I mean, it makes for good conversation. There are those who would say, all right, so it didn't work out at Liberty with, I mean, Liberty is Liberty right now. Hugh Freeze, the head coach, A1 facilities. It's not 20 college campuses or programs that have better facilities than Liberty. So Liberty, I know, a lot of people know that are in that realm that Liberty is climbing up the ranks. They cracked top 25. Like, they're on their way. So if it didn't work there, why do you feel like transitioning instead of making that impact there regardless of what the circumstances look like in politics? Because no matter where you go in college sports, there will always be politics, period.
Facts.
Like, so instead of, fighting through that and it not working there with competition being higher, because that's my point, is like the competition is different. And obviously the league, the competition, nigga, it's the 1% of the 1%. So the competition is real. So you understand my question? Like, if it didn't work there, why do you feel so confident in it working here? Is it about film? Is it about like just more stuff in the background going on? A real, what's the word? Yeah. What's the word? I can't think of it. But your own personal inside, like what that on the inside to be true, and you're like,
Right.
this isn't it. Or like, what would you say to that, to somebody that's like, bro, you couldn't make it at Liberty. Why do you think going to a D1 AA, lesser competition would prove your case,
right?
So to speak?
I didn't see it like that. I didn't think I could make. I didn't think I couldn't make it. And for me personally, I don't really listen to the outside. I never have. If I did, I wouldn't anywhere. I wouldn't.
Right.
Man, I'd be.
Right.
I'd be. I don't even know where I'd be right now. But
Facts.
for me personally, like I said, I just wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to find a place that I can make a name for myself and make a name for myself very quickly, and have my name ringing very quickly, regardless of where I'm at. And I felt like the Long Island University was the place to do it. I felt like that because I know that they were coming off of a losing season, and I feel like I can come in here and make a big impact quick. And usually, a lot of the times I've done my research. If you're kind of a big fish in a smaller pond, you get looked at different. Because obviously, the scouts are looking at you like, okay, what is this guy doing that everybody else is not doing? What happened to this team when this guy did so and so for that team? You know what I'm saying? Because what you do at the end of the day, if I do my part right, at the end of the day, that makes the team better. If everybody does their job, that makes the team better. So I didn't really look at it like I couldn't play with the big dogs, because I know what I know, and I feel like they see me, and it was never a hate thing between me or those coaches or anything. Just personally, I just felt I needed to get away. I didn't. The Liberty I went to was not necessarily the same Liberty that I grew up watching. And I don't say that as a bad thing. It just
No, but
wasn't.
the school is changing like crazy.
Oh,
And I think it's for the good because of
Yeah.
where, Jerry Falwell Sr., his
Right.
vision for where that school was going to be. I think this change was inevitable. I think Hugh Freeze is the best thing. I mean, all of his stuff aside, like, I think maybe he's not going to be the long-term person, but just to give them that kickstart. Again, they
Right.
got on the map, cracked top 25. So I mean, we're big fans of Liberty because we grew up going to those games, watching them play. So I understand you probably had that. You were expecting something like that culture. I remember we went to that pep rally that one time with the linebacker. I can't think of the guy's name, but it was just a different culture, completely different culture. Like back when Rashad was playing, that quarterback Brock. You know what I'm talking
Rock,
about? Yeah,
go.
bro. It was that it was like the heyday. Like that was a fun time for Liberty
That was
football. But Rocco
yeah,
was there. Like, come on, that that was the prime of Liberty
that,
football before where it is today. And say what?
that was the Liberty University that I thought and was
Right,
really hoping I was.
right,
Uh,
right,
to me, I just
right,
it was different
right.
scenery, and I didn't wasn't me.
Absolutely different culture. But I mean, you know, everything changes with time. But yeah, so I mean, I won't hold you too much longer, but to those points of, you know, believing in yourself for athletes coming up, and like for me, that because there's a risk, like there's a risk to everything, right? But for that belief in yourself, so what I think and what's great and how you've come along is, you put the work in. So a lot of people don't really believe that they can go to a smaller school and make it to that level because
Right,
maybe they haven't put the work in. Maybe they're banking on the brand name of the Liberties or in the
just
future or the Alabamas of the world or Florida States. You know what I'm saying? So they, because I mean, you have hundreds of thousands of these ranked recruiters from reporters that haven't played a sport a day in their life. They just know how to record, write well, and they're all of a sudden an analyst. So they're
right,
ranking these players, and these players then go off to these massive schools and don't see the field because you got some
right,
real 5-star recruits. Don't get me wrong. There's some dogs, a lot of dogs out there, but like we get too caught up in these like ranking systems, and then people that belief that's that belief system isn't really there. So people don't have, you know, the courage to do that, or they automatically shut off the thought of I'm gonna go to a smaller school, thinking about their education, maybe even smaller classes, more attention because football isn't forever. So it's just like that. I mean, I think for a lot of black kids too, like that thought process of how they do it. So putting in the work, obviously considering school and the league is the prize, but I have a life outside of that regardless. So, I mean, I think it's commendable that you did that. You had that, belief in yourself, and it's only because of the work.
have to.
The work. It's only on. I don't care what anybody says. It's only because of the work. That's it. That reinforces belief in self. Like especially when you don't see it happening exactly the way you want it to. All you can go back to is work, and the rest is in God's hands or whoever you believe. So, I mean, and I mean, I haven't been on the earth long, but I don't think shit doesn't like work out the way you ever expect it to. So, with that being said, and the path you've taken, and the work you've put in, and the mindset you've maintained throughout it all, you cannot end up in a bad position. You cannot.
Right,
Obviously, you can make smarter choices here and there, but I believe that you will be better off than the person who just says, I'm going to go to Alabama and I'm going to get drafted because I'm at Alabama. Alabama. Like, it's a
right.
difference. It's a difference. And I think a lot more athletes would benefit from, just listening to like why you think the way you think and the confidence, because people see it. Like, I personally get annoyed seeing you with your shirt off. I hate it. It's annoying. However, I mean, good looking dude, but it all of that is back, and I know this just because I know you. But from the outside looking in, like, oh, he this cocky dude, like he just like that, like he all good looking, he think get all the girls. I mean, looks, that genetics, but the confidence, because I knew Nick before Nick blossomed, and Nick has put in work. That has been a constant variable in your life, is the work. So that would be something that people can benefit from. And I think a lot of younger athletes would benefit from that. It's just putting in the work. Stop trusting in and putting all your faith in these massive universities that you are a number at the end of the day. If you're a number at a smaller school, I went to a D3 college. If I'm a number there, I'm a number at these bigger universities. Uh-oh, you froze. You there? Oh, man. Technical difficulties. Domonhic has probably getting a call. He said his girlfriend was going to FaceTime him. Oh, there you go.
My phone hit that 20%.
Oh, okay.
My fault.
Okay. No, you good. So what were you saying? I mean, I went on my rant, but that was it. I think people can benefit from hearing your perspective, you know, coming back down to earth a little bit, and let your belief system be driven off of your work ethic, and not from what some reporter who's never played the game, and if he played, he probably was a bum. I mean,
90%.
Oh, 90% chance. So, like, I mean, you see it everywhere. So, yeah, not putting your faith in that, these fictitious, like, star rankings, all this other BS, because you can only go to one school at the end of the day. So, like, all of this stuff, like, having that different mindset is pretty much what I was getting at. And it's why I think that at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, you will end up in a much better position than a lot of athletes mentally for the world. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's what people live and die, period. So, yeah. Yep.
Man, I see it. I'm knowing. I know how to keep going. I know I got to keep going. I feel like my biggest saying that I say, like all the time, no matter how I'm feeling, is if I quit, I never knew how far I could have went. I always remind myself, if I quit, I never knew how far I could have went. And I refuse to be 30, sitting back and like, you know what? I don't look at it as I'm wasting my 20s.
What about the good old days?
I don't, yeah. Oh, man, I'm back in the day. Nah, this is back in the day for me.
This is the day.
Yeah. Like, this is the day.
Yeah.
The day is the day.
Right. So, nah.
Every day counts.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother rant, getting into the mind of those people. Because, I mean, for me personally, like, I don't, like, I feel the way I could about how, like, my recruiting went. But at the end of the day, like, I know what my talent was. I worked hard at that. Mm-hmm. I could have done different things. But, again, when you put in the work and you know, like, you can move on, because it's like that mindset again, and you understand through time that everything does not work out the way you think it's gonna work, and you understand, and you start to become more aware, and you accept that life does not always just work out like that. So you can move forward. It's easier to move forward and find the next thing, because you're confident that you're going to put in the work. And I mean,
and to add on that, I say, I can't remember when she told me, but I really installed in my head when Mom said to me, my senior year, I remember when she said to me, she said, Dominic, she said, you're going to kill yourself trying to put everything in going to the National Football League one day. I really took this to heart. What she said. She said, if Jesus wants you to play in the National Football League, and she kept saying National Football League. If Jesus wants you to play National Football League, nobody in this earth can take your roster spot. Nobody. There is not one person on earth that can take your one roster spot if Jesus wants you to play in the National Football League. Because at the end of the day,
That's gonna be the
it's
title.
about what he wants. Literally about what he wants. And we're literally puppets just walking in what in our life that he's already created for us. So
But
I don't just
it's
think this way for no
important.
reason. God to
Again,
send me too.
it's important that with you, the discipline, all the work, all the things you said before, you have to do those things. You have to stay focused mentally, stay like in tune with whatever it is you feel like you get your resource, your power. All of that stuff, like it's a two-way street because to her point, I believe that what is for me will never pass me by. Period. However, I have to do my part, and
Got to.
my
That's what,
part is equally as important because what is for me may pass me by, and I get the next thing that I would have got with the bigger or better blessing. So it's like you want to put yourself in position for all the blessings that are here for you, and I think that's definitely what she was saying. And yeah, yeah, because I mean I take that sentiment as well. As far as you killing yourself, you know, putting all your eggs in. We've had that conversation, so we don't have to go there. However, I yeah, I think you'll grow and mature and have different perspective as you go on. You're gonna see things differently, and I mean, you gotta be hopeful in that because you don't lose how many years of intense work overnight. That's gonna translate into your life. So, I mean, it's up. Period. I mean, you're gonna go through some shit, but it's up regardless. So, I mean, I would be confident in that for
ain't
sure.
life without shit. I'll tell you that
Huh?
much.
That's a fact. That's what it says somewhere in what Second Corinthians about rejoicing,
Nigga, like,
nigga,
yeah, nigga, like,
rejoicing in the struggle. That ass. That's how people. Those are the people that you talk to, and you like. All right, he different, cause like A, how did he go through all of this, and he's here. B, how did he go through all of this, and his attitude is this. Like that speaks volumes. And I mean, yeah. So yeah, like you said, like embrace what Coach Button used to say. Embrace the suck, cause I mean, it's gonna suck more than it's gonna be good. So find
facts.
out how to get good in the suck and make the best of that. But yeah. So 2 questions before we go, because we've been going for 40 minutes. One is, what would you say to freshman Domonhic Jennings up until now? And then number 2 is shit. I forgot number 2. Do number 1. I'm gonna think
Freshman
about
high
number 2.
school?
Huh?
Freshman high
Okay.
school, Nick, or
So
like
yeah. So from the point where you knew, because it was definitely a point where things like changed for you, and you started to take football very seriously, and we're like, this is what I'm gonna do. I remember that video you posted of when y'all had moved to Ohio. So that was probably your sophomore year after Heritage. So yeah, freshman year Domonhic, going from Heritage to Valley Christian, so on. What would you say to yourself then, that you feel like would have helped you be in a better place today?
whew. Ah, that's tough. I think the biggest thing I would say to myself, huh? Stay consistent. Stay consistent in who you are. At it don't matter what anybody else got going on. Stay consistent, Nick, in who you are. And what I mean by that is just keep being you in everything, and don't ever not just let alone try to fit in with anybody, but just like keep being you, and don't be afraid to be you at all times. Um, Everywhere from daggone gatherings to football to anything in life. Just keep being you. That's what I would tell myself, to just stay a little bit more consistent. Um, Stay a little more consistent. If I stay just a little bit more consistent, and if I open my mind earlier, I would actually, you know what? Boom. I would tell myself to open my mind earlier,
To what?
to be more of an athlete on the field.
To more.
I
Okay.
would have told my mind earlier to be more an athlete on the field, and
Okay.
that definitely would have opened my mind for one, and it opened up who I am, and that would open up probably a lot more confidence back then too,
So
because I
humble
didn't get no confidence
yourself. Humble
here.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely that, and
I like that.
open
I
up.
like that. Yeah, because I mean, again,
Yeah,
I appreciate that because I grew up with you, and I saw like that just like shift from freshman year to sophomore year, and yeah, I mean, there was definitely a shift in attitude, and for me, again, it always goes back to work and the work you put in, and that was your foundation, and you can't break
yeah.
that shit down because it's been done, it's there, and most of you dudes out here don't do it. So you can't tell me shit. Period. So it's that foundation. And I remember the second question I had, if you were done, or you had something else you wanted to say. You done? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So,
Open my mind.
hmm
That was my answer. Open my mind.
okay. All right. So 2 is advice to younger athletes coming up, especially with post pandemic sports, college sports, everything is constantly changing. So,
Mhm.
being in that, what would you tell younger athletes coming up about their
Easy.
perspective, like how they should see stuff, um, all that?
Uh, Definitely see stuff with an open eye. Like I just said, when I had to open my mind, to
Mm-hmm.
playing different positions, just being, being myself more. But to my advice for athletes out there watching this, or just in general, just like I said, open your mind, and work on your craft at all times. Work on your craft and keep your grades up. And I know your parents are say that a lot, but really keep your grades up, because you might mess around and something might happen. You never know how life goes. In your senior year, you can get a half and half on a scholarship, maybe half athletic and half academic, and that turns into a full overall scholarship. For those who, you never know what school really likes you, but can't afford this part. But if your academics are really high,
Mm-hmm.
they can get you in for a full. And
That
your
part.
parents might have to pay.
That part.
And that's the biggest thing for me is my parents always told me to keep my grades up. My grades were
Optimism.
cool.
Remaining
You're right.
optimistic about. Yeah.
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 My grades were
Okay.
cool, but I definitely I could have had a little bit more up to gave me a put me in a little bit better chance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and work on your craft at like all times, because literally,
Now break that down real
literally,
quick because people say that you say that, and people are like, it's just all right. So that mean I go outside and I do cone drills. About
right,
outside of that is working on your craft as well, and not just what you do
easy.
on a practice. Well, a lot, bro. You'd be surprised. Like I think a lot of people, because that's what makes the difference. If those people that they think about that day and night, day and night, day and night, and every single thing you do is a reflection of what you want to happen, and it has to be that serious, especially given the circumstances and in general. Like I don't think anybody makes it to that level and sustains and even carries on in a productive lifestyle if you don't think that way on some level. Like all this
Right.
that I do has to be a direct reflection of my goal, my ultimate goal. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's working on your craft is not, like I said, not like you said, not just cone drills or anything. Working on the craft is staying home. You know, not going to the parties on the weekends, and staying home and working on the books, working on, you know, you yourself spiritually, literally spiritually, emotionally, physically, and get into your faith, whatever your faith is. Really get into your faith and learn who you are. I feel like once you learn who you really are, especially at a young age, everything else takes care of itself. You're able to see life totally different. But just work on your craft, work on yourself at all times. Stop worrying about the girls. And honestly, like, I understand we're men. I get it, but bro, at the end of the day, those girls that turn into women are going to depend on you one day, to have, your stuff together, whatever it is. Because one day you're going to be a father. Most people want to be a father. So work on your craft, work on you. So when you get older, you're able to provide for your family and for yourself. And I'm not trying to be cliche and trying to say everybody says, but this is like, as I keep getting older, this is the truth that a lot of cats at that age don't want to hear. Like, for a lot of people to say there is no plan B, you better you better figure something out,
Mm-hmm.
because life is short, man. I know my that's another reason I work so hard, because a lot of times I really use this. My plan B is to complete plan A. My plan B is to accomplish plan A. And then plan C is everything else after what I want to do in football. So that is why I mentally am still in it, because I know dang well this is my plan A and plan B. My plan B is to complete plan A. So therefore that keeps me to stay on my tail, stay on my ass, and keep working at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Academics, football, everything. Even when I don't want to do it. I got to get up here at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
I don't want to get up at 6:30, but it's the last practice. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna be
Right.
high energy. I'm gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna finish it off right with a bang. Because I know at the end of the day, I didn't. Just the 6:30. That ain't nothing. I mean, I
Right.
didn't. I didn't go
It's
30 and
it's here and
ran.
gone like that. So it
Boom.
don't matter really. Yeah. Word.
But
Bet.
yeah, work on your craft. And yes, also cone drills too. But work
Oh
and
yeah.
doing that 2 days a week, doing that 2 days a week, man. It's 7 days in a week. So
That becomes the easy part though, and it's crazy how
two,
that doesn't translate. And I wish for me that would have translated, because like going out there doing cone drills became easier and easier, and I got better. Just the same principle and rule holds true for kind of working on my craft as RJ outside of football. The things
right.
that convicted me that I felt like were tough, like that becomes easier. Waking up at 6:30, being consistent in that. That shit's hard at first. Coming from high school to college, all right, get up 5 o'clock workouts. It's not easy because you're not used to it. But the more you do it, it becomes easier. And it's just like
Easier.
those easier. It's never really easy. But yeah, just those principles in general. But word, this was dope. I appreciate the time, Domonhic. Domonhic. Thank you for the
Bro.
time. If you got people, I'm sure we'll do this again several times, pretty often. But yeah, if you know somebody, I'm always down. I just want to build a catalog and kind of do this. But yeah, thank you for your time. I'll be talking to you soon. Good luck this
It,
season. Go Sharks. All right, bro.
this guy.
I'll holler at you, dude.
I
See,
appreciate it.
yeah.